Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we're starting with at-tadribat, the exercises. Okay. So the first exercise is at-tadribul awwal. At-tadribul awwal. At-tadribul awwal. It's not your vocabulary list because the vocabularies we had in the previous video, right? In the previous page. This one it looks like it is your you have to find these words from the list. So for example, shari', shari' is street, and you find the shari'. It's the same exercise, right? Murtafi', you have to know what shari' means, is street. Murtafi' is high. So you have murtafi' here. Al-masjid, okay, the mosque, and you have al-masjid. Al-haram, al-haram is sacred, okay, sacred. And here's al-haram. And qareeb, qareeb is what? Qareeb is near, and here is near. Now, so next exercise, at-tadrib al-thani. At-tadrib al-thani is similar, right? Similar thing. You have to find this sentence or this phrase from the list. So it says al-baytu kabirun. Al-baytu kabirun is what? Al-baytu kabirun is the house is big. Okay, so then you find the same thing, al-baytu kabirun here. Next one is hadiqatun wasi'atun. Hadiqatun wasi'atun. What is hadiqatun wasi'atun means? It is an adjective and it means what? It means the wide garden or spacious garden. Okay, here's a spacious garden. So here's you have the spacious garden here. Hadiqatun wasi'atun. Now, and the next column we have Shari'ul Masjidi. Shari'ul Masjidi, which is what? What kind of sentence or phrase? It's an idafa, it's a construction, right? It means the street of the masjid. Okay? Shari'ul Masjidi, street of the masjid. So here is your Shari'ul Masjidi. Now, if we look at these three constructions, you can see something very interesting, okay? Let's see how so. Let's see something interesting here. So the first one we have al-baytu. What kind of word it is? It is a definite noun, right? Al-baytu, because we have alif lam. And the second one is kabirun. It is indefinite. Okay, remember what I said? In a simple sentence, you have the subject needs to be definite and the predicate needs to be indefinite. Okay, so we have definite and indefinite, right? So that makes it a complete sentence. When you have a definite noun and then you have indefinite noun and then you make a complete sentence. Al-baytu kabirun. For example, this one, al-qafasu kabirun. Qafas is what? Cage. Okay, so the cage. So the first one is definite and the second one is indefinite. So this makes a sentence. So the second phrase we have, the second column we have, hadiqatun wasi'atun. And if you look closely, both of them are indefinite. Both of them has tanween, right? When both of them are indefinite, then there's a good chance, it's not always, but there's a good chance it might be an adjective phrase. So now how do you verify if it's an adjective phrase or not? We have to see if other things matches. What are the other things? You have to make sure that it matches with the gender. So looks like hadiqa has tamarbuta, wasi'atun has tamarbuta as well. So that means they're indefinite, both of these words are indefinite, and both of them are feminine words. Okay, both of them has tamarbuta. And then you also have to check something else, which is what? Whether they have the same grammar, same case ending. Looks like is the case. We have tanween of dhamma here, and we also have tanween of dhamma. Okay, and then at the end of the day, it's kind of also has to make sense. Okay, so hadiqatun wasi'atun, it means spacious garden or wide garden. Okay, so this is how we know it's a adjective. Okay, so both of them are indefinite. Now, if you look at the another one, the next one, we have shari'ul masjidi. Okay, and if you look closely, the first one looks like doesn't have alif lam, and the second one does have alif lam. Okay, so it looks like you have something like indefinite, and the second one is definite. Okay, so it gives you, if you have the first word looks like indefinite and the second one looks like a definite, okay, then it is a very good indication that it might be your idafa construction. Okay, and how do you verify? You verify by looking at the whether first one has tanween or not. It shouldn't have tanween, so this one doesn't have tanween. Well, actually they didn't put it, so looks like the other sentence they have put uh, a vowel here. And another way you verify is whether or not the second word is in kasra or not. Looks like second word is in kasra. So that is a clear. Right now it is 100% that this is what? An idafa, which is of. So you will say the street of the masjid. Okay, so now if you just um, summarize few things here just by looking at the definite and indefinite, you can see something very interesting things going on here. So if we have definite noun and then followed by indefinite noun, it's usually probably going to be a sentence. And if we have indefinite noun followed by an indefinite noun, the chances are, it's not always, chances are it is adjective. It can also be what? It can also be an idafa, the of construction. Idafa construction, like it can also be of possession, right? And then, but if you have indefinite, then you have a definite, then it is most likely it will be an idafa. Okay, so it's going to be off. I'll just write off. Make sense? So this is a clear, it's one way, it's, it's just a simple way to recognize what kind of phrase are you looking at. Okay, it's one way, one technique you can use. Now, so the next exercise is at-tadribu thalith, is a third exercise. At-tadribu thalith, it says, Raddit ma yali. Raddit ma yali means repeat what's coming, what's following. Okay, so let's see what it's saying. Number one, it says Al-baytu fi shar'il. It will be kasra here. It's the same sentence we had in the previous video. Al-baytu fi shar'il masjidil haram. Okay, it's just asking you to repeat, but it's probably would be a better idea to translate as well. Okay, make sure you know what you're saying. Okay, the house is in the street of the sacred mosque. The second one is Al-qalamu fil haqibati. Al-qalamu fil haqiba. So al-qalamu is the pen. Pen is in what? Where? Haqiba is the bag. The bag. So in the bag. And you have a kasra because of the harful jar fi. At-tabibu. What is at-tabib? Is the doctor. The doctor fil iyada. Iyada is, remember, iyada is clinic. Clinic. Iyada is the clinic. So the doctor is in the clinic. Right? Al-dabitu fil matar. الضابط is the officer. Okay, the officer is in al-matar. Matar is what? Airport. We had all of these words before. Okay, and we have a kasra because of fi. Al-kitabu fil maktabati. Al-kitab is the book. Fil maktaba is what? Maktaba is the library. The book is in the library. Al-mudifu fi ta'irati. Al-mudif is hostess. Remember, we had this word before also. Fi ta'ira. Ta'ira is the plane. So the hostess is in the plane. Now, next exercise is at-tadrib al-rabi', the fourth exercise. It's again saying Raddit ma yali. So basically wants you to repeat them. And this is your the listening exercise, right? Make sure you understand the difference between kaf and qaf. So kalb and qalb. This is one of, if you study Arabic language, this is one of the words they always use as an example, and they always have a lot of nice, funny, and interesting stories about these two words, right? Because the meaning changes drastically, right? You want to say something, if you're not pronouncing it properly, you might mean something else, right? The qalb is heart. Qalb is heart, and kalb is dog. Now you can see how big difference it is. And here's another one. For example, kul. Kul is a command verb to say eat. Eat. Okay? Eat. So it's a command. And kul here is to say. So which is it? Am I supposed to eat or I'm supposed to say something? It all depends on how you pronounce the word, right? So pay attention to these things. If you need help, you should review them and make sure you understand the difference. Okay. Now, here I don't think they want you to memorize these words yet, because some of these words it's not for you to memorize right now. It's just trying to give you some words so that you can see the difference in sound. Now, now we have a tadrib al-khamis, fifth exercise. This is where they're teaching you the numbers. Okay, so starting with sifr. Sifr is what? Zero. Okay, that's zero, and this is how you write zero in Arabic. Okay, right? Just a dot. Okay, you can just put a dot, and that's zero. And wahid, and you also have to know how to write it in number as well. Okay, you also have to know how to write both the spelling wahidun. You also need to know how to write it. Okay, so wahid, اثنان, 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 ثلاثة. Okay, أربعة. Okay, then we have what? خمسة, ستة, سبعة, ثمانية, تسعة, and عشرة. Yes. So واحد is one, اثنان is two, ثلاثة is three, أربعة is four, خمسة is five, ستة is six, سبعة is seven, ثمانية is eight, تسعة is nine, عشرة is 10. Okay, so I'll just write the English here just in case you need. Okay, three, and then you have four, and this is five, six, seven, eight, nine. Nine looks like both of them. You write it as someone. But here's what you need to be careful, because it looks like the one, wahid, and the number one is kind of same as in English language, So, and look at the five. Five looks like a zero, right? Five looks like a zero. So, if you write something like that, hold on. If you write something like that, depends on what language you're using, the number is different, right? If it's in English, then it's 10. If it's in Arabic, you don't have to change anything, but the number is different. It's 15. You understand, right? So be careful. Now, okay, next one we have at-tadrib al-sadis, sixth exercise. It says akmil ma yali. Akmil is to complete the following. So we have al-qalamu qaribun min. See, remember, when you have qarib, you will get min right away. You will have min. Qarib means near or close, right? So the pen is close to what? So it looks like we have two sets of images here. So we have, this is the pen, column, right? Column is pen. So we have one here, which is mistara, right? You need to know this one, mistara. And we have kitab. So the pen is close to what? Al-qalamu qaribun min al-kitab. And what are you gonna do? Min al-kitab, bu, kitaba. No, it's going to be kitab B. Why is it kitab B? Because we have harful jar min. Okay, the rules, you cannot forget the rules. Okay, the grammar rules you need to keep. You have to pay attention to the grammar rules. Okay, and it says wa ba'id an. Remember, after ba'id you have an, and far from what? Mistara. Al mistara. Al mistara T. Al mistara T. If you write it like that, this usually means it's not a fatha, because when you write something like that, it's a handwriting. It doesn't mean fatha, it means two dots. And if you write something like that, it means three dots. Okay, but for this class, I usually write it like that so that you guys don't get confused. وَبَعِيدْ عَنِ الْمِسْطَرَةِ, and far from the ruler. Now, so the next one says al-mistaratu qaribatun min what? The mistara, this is the mistara, is close to what? The book or the pen? It's close to the pen. So qaribun minal what? Minal qalam. Minal qalam. Qalam what? Remember, it's harful jar, so we need to put kasra. Minal qalami. Wa ba'idatun an, and far from what? And far from al-kitab. Subhanallah. Hold on. Al-Kitabi, right? And inshallah, I want you guys to complete the rest. Okay, inshallah, you can do this. Is tufa, 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 okay, sikin. This the knife is what? Knife is sikin, sikin, and then sahan. Sahan is what? The dish. It can also mean tabak. I don't know which one we had. Both of them are fine. Tabak. Okay, you can say sahan. You can also say tabak. Now, so inshallah, you should be able to do this thing by yourself. So you say as-sikinu, as-sikinu qaribun minal what? Minal what? It's qaribun minal tuffah, minal tuffahi. As-sikinu qaribun minal tuffahi. Okay, it looks like they're using the tabak. Both of them fine. Sahan is also fine. But here you can use tabak. Okay, inshallah you can finish the rest. جيد. Okay, so we have more. It says as-sayyaratu qaribatun. Okay, I need to explain something, look, because what's going on, as-sayyara is the car, right? Car. Okay, but they're using qaribatun here and they're using qaribun here. Just like in the previously, in one place they said al-qalamu qaribun, and here they're saying al-mistaratu qaribatun. Okay, what's going on? Because remember the adjective, it has to match with the gender. Okay, even though it's a sentence, it has to match with the gender. So the subject is what? The subject is the car, and the car is feminine word. As-sayyara, two, feminine word. It has tamarbut, right? So when you describe as that means the predicate which describes the subject needs to be in the same gender. So here you cannot say as-sayyaratu qaribun. That would be a grammatical mistake. You have to say as-sayyaratu qaribatun. Like so, you cannot say al-baytu qaribatun here because al-bayt is masculine. Okay, masculine, there's no ta marbuta. So your adjective needs to be in the same gender. Now, okay, so I say as-sayyaratu qaribatun minal. What is, how do you say, this is, looks like you can say shajara, shajaratun, shajaratun, which is tree. Okay, so you can say as-sayyaratu qaribatun minash shajarati. Right? Now, inshallah, you can complete the rest. And next, at-tadrib al-sabih, the seventh exercise, we have akmil ma yali, same thing, complete what's coming. Here, looks like they give you how many words? 5 words, and you have to complete the sentence choosing one of these words. Okay, it looks interesting. So the first one is al-baytu fi, then you have a blank, al-masjid al-haram. So looks like it's that phrase, al-baytu fi, the house is in what? It's the shari'. Shari' is the street. Shari'il, oh sorry, shari'il masjid al-haram. So the house is in the street of the sacred mosque. Yes? Now, then we have amam al-bayti, the front of the house is what? We have wasi'atun, looks like it's going to be hadiqah. Okay? Hadiqatun. Okay? Hadiqatun wasi'atun. Okay, front of the house is a wide garden or spacious garden. And then we have Baytu Bakrin Qaribun min, the house of Bakr is close to what? Al-Masjidi, close to the masjid. And the fourth one, Al-Hadiqa. Okay, so we have this one, Hawla. Hawla is what? Hawla is around. Hawla al-Hadiqati, okay, it's kasra because of this preposition. Around the house, there is what? Surun murtafi'un. Okay, there's a high fence around the garden. Now, number 5 is رقم البيت, the number of the house is ثلاثة. ثلاثة. Okay. Now, جيد. Okay, so التدريب الثامن, the eighth exercise, اقرأ. It's asking to read. So when you read this thing, you have to, I think they want you to pay attention to the ending. So you say baytun, you say al-baytu. Okay. Qafasun, you say al-qafasu. Right. Hadiqatun, al-hadiqatu. You cannot say al-hadiqatun. Okay. So that's never going to work in Arabic language. So hadiqatun, al-hadiqatu. Masjidun, al-masjidu. This is uh, I mean, it could be the, but the context is not there. There's no preposition, so I would assume this is mistake. If you say the, this is not a mistake in a sense that you're saying masjidin. If you say masjidin here, al-masjidin, then that's a big problem because that's not going to happen. So if there was any harful jar, any preposition, then okay, fine, al-masjidi. But looks like nothing is here, so you can say al-masjidu. Babun, al-babu. Okay, makes sense? Is that exercise about definite nouns and indefinite nouns. Now, and we have at-tadrib al-tasi', the ninth exercise. Okay, so this is a big unit, looks like big lesson. So they're teaching you about plural right now. So most of the words that we had so far, we've seen them in a singular form. Okay, so now we are going to see some of them, the words in their plural form. So mufrad is singular. Mufrad is singular, and jam'un is plural. Okay, singular and plural. I just quickly wanted to point out that in Arabic language, plural starts with number 3 or more. Okay, so 2 is not considered plural in Arabic language. It is called dual. Muthanna is something that inshallah we'll be learning in the future lesson. But in Arabic language, plural starts from 3 or more. And that's why all the pictures that you see here is showing you 3 or more. Okay, so 2 is not plural. Inshallah, this is something that we'll be learning in the future lesson. So we have rajulun. What is that? It should be rajulun. Rajulun is man, a man. Okay. And rijalun is man with e, plural. Okay. Rajulun, rijalun. So the plural in Arabic language is interesting. In English, most of the plural we do just by adding s or es. You know, car, cars, book, books. Okay. In English, there are different types of plurals. There are some sound plurals, broken plurals. For example, this one is kind of broken plural in English is considered because you have a man and then you change the word and you wrote man into men. Well, it's considered broken. Versus you have something like car and you just add s and in cars. So your original word you didn't change. It's intact, right? So so that's called broken plural versus sound plural. So this would be sound plural. Most of the words in Arabic, in English, is sound plural. You basically add s and es. But unfortunately in Arabic, that's kind of not the case. Most of the words are broken, so we kind of have to memorize these words together. So rajulun, rijalun. And you know both of these words are in the Quran. Okay? So rajulun, rijalun. Qalamun, aqlamun. Qalamun and aqlam. Okay? Tabaq, adbaq. Okay? And then misbahun, masabih. You see that, it looks, they have different patterns. They are not in the same patterns. Okay? So you kind of have to memorize them. Kitabun, kutub. Kitab, kutub. Okay? So these things you have to pay attention and start memorizing the plural for the words. Okay? Again, rajul, rijal. Qalam, aqlam. Tabaq, adbaq. Misbah, masabih. Kitab, kutub. Okay, so you need to memorize them side by side like that. Okay, now we have more here. Timsah, tamasih. Timsah, tamasih. Jamal, jimal. Usfur, asafir. Okay, Usfur, asafir. Bait, buyut. Kalb, kilab. We know all of these words, but now we are learning their plurals. Okay, Now, I think if you repeat these words side by side a few times, inshallah you will get this memorized. It's not a big deal, okay, inshallah. And we have at-tadrib al-ashir, the 10th exercise. It says ikra wa akmil, read and complete. So it gives you example, so you have to know your numbers, right? So this is wahid, and they give you an example, wahid. This symbol is for ithnan, ithnani, and this is thalatha, so you have to write it, thalatha, and arba'a, arba'a, okay, and you can do the rest. خمسة ستة سبعة ثمانية تسعة عشرة. Okay, you need to memorize your numbers. Now, التدريب الحادي عشرة, 11th exercise. This is your writing exercise. You can write this word a few times. محطة, we know what محطة is a station. Okay, bite, you know what bite is. Ab, khubz, khubz is bread. Okay, jazar, you know what jazar is, carrot, right? Next exercise, التدريب الثاني عشرة, 12th exercise. كون كلمات. Okay, make the words. So looks like they're giving you the letters. Here's Noon, Hamza, and Dhal, and you're being asked to what? Put them in a word. You combine them. Okay, so for example, here you have Sin, Ra, and Hamza, so you will combine them. Okay, then you. Okay, so this is again your writing exercise. You can do them yourself, inshallah. Okay. And التدريب الثالث عشر, the 13th exercise. اكتب means to write. أمام البيت حديقة, so front of the house there is a garden, right? So basically, again, your writing exercise, you can complete them, write as many times as you need until your writing become faster. Okay, it's not only how to write, it's also you need to be able to write faster. Okay. And the second one is وحول الحديقة سور, and around the garden is what? Sur is what? Is fence. Okay, so you can do the same thing. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So looks like we have reached the end of the lesson, inshallah. So I will see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.